Hello, it's your host, KebbieG. Don't forget to subscribe, uptick that rumble button. Don't forget to check out the great things in the description down below. Hello, welcome to another edition. Today we are heading to Pioneer for a deck that is based around enchantments, Enigmatic, Incarnation. So we have, for mana base, we have to be basically almost 5 colors. So we have 2 Godless Shrines, 1 Forest, 1 Watery Grave, 1 Foundry, 1 Mountain, 1 Plains, 3 Stomping Grounds, 1 Island, 1 Swamp, 1 Breeding Pool, 1 Steam Vents, 2 Ketra Triomes, 3 Roggering Triomes, 1 Temple Garden, 2 Sun Petal Grove, 2 Isolated Chapels, 1 Rootbound Crag, 1 Woodland Cemetery, 1 Ignite Triome, and 2 Mana Confluences, and 1 Zagoth Triome, 200 Overgrown Tomb, and 1 Savini Triome. That is our mana base. That is a lot to say, but so else in the deck, we have 4 Chain to Rocks for removal, 1 Oath of Nissa as something that comes down. We get to look at the top 3. Probably end up sacking that to get something at 2 mana. We have Omen of the Sea as our draw spell. Nissa's Presence, which turns any land into basically every type. 1 Fibblefip. 3 Willow Havens is probably the best ramp spell for a Yorion deck. 4 Trial of Ambitions. 1 Courser Crewfix. 1 Thief of Sanity as just a kind of a fun card to play. 1 Cessnian Champion, 1 Glasspool Mimic, 1 Treacherous Blessing, 3 Moonblessed Clerics to find whatever enchantment we might want, 1 Wandering Mine as kind of a fetchable target that we get look top 3 or 6 and get a non-creature, non-land spell, 1 Renegade Rallier that we can ramp into, probably bring back whatever we stack to get him. 1 Sin Collector as a way to have hand disruption. 1 Reflector Mage to bounce whatever our opponent's biggest threat is. 2 Oath of Nissas for a removal spell that we can sack and upgrade. 4 Enigmatic Incarnation, which is a namesake card. 1 Archon of Sun's Grace, which makes tokens every time we have an enchantment enter the battlefield. 3 Fires of Vengeance to make our mana casting a little bit easier. 1 Siege Rhino, just because of Siege Rhino, not really a reason. Eidolon of Blossoms, Binding the Old Gods is a removal spell that's also an enchantment. 1 Mesmerizing Benefit, which comes down, makes a couple, I believe it makes a couple oozes or squids. 1 Xenagos, God of Revels, gets something pretty good boost in power and haste, and then 1 Cloud Blazer at the top end to draw a couple cards, gain some life. So we have a bunch of one-of targets. That is essentially the deck. We have 3 Fatal Pushes for a little bit more removal. 1 Mass Vandal that we could bring in that could exile an artifact or enchantment. 1 Detention Sphere is kind of a just exile mass tokens or just whatever the best threat our opponent has. 1 Archon of Emeria against Storm style decks that want to play multiple spells in a turn. 3 Mystics Disputes against Control. 1 Cabal also is pretty good against decks that want to play a lot of stuff in one turn. 1 Kunaro's Hound is our semi-graveyardish hate. 1 Reclamation Sage against artifacts and enchantments. 1 Hostage Shaker that we could bring in against for removal. 1 Yorion, which is the reason why we have so many cards in our main board. And then we have a Massacre Girl, which comes down and wraps our opponent's board. So, no further ado, let's see this deck in action. Alright, on to match 1, game 1 with Enigmatic Incarnation. Oh, we have it in hand. We have 2 of them in hand. Seems kind of slow though, isn't it? So we could play Temple Garden tapped. So that means the Chain of Rocks is probably going to be able to be used. I don't think we can not keep our namesake enchantments. I mean, it just makes anything that we draw just so much better. So I think we leave with the Temple Garden tapped, and then play either one of the other lands next turn tapped. Between the Steam Vents or the... Probably play Steam Vents, right? Because then we get 4 colors. Hollow Fountain tapped. So some blue variant. So we're probably, this Chain to the Rocks is going to not be that good of a card. We will play the Steam Vents. Tapped. Pass the turn. Thief of Sanity, on the other hand, should be pretty good in this matchup. So next turn we can Mana Confluence and play Thief of Sanity. Turn after we can play the Incarnation. I assume he knows what he's facing, just based off the colors we're playing. There's very few decks in Pioneer that plays this many colors. One is either Omnath. Well, that just makes our Chain of the Rocks pretty much useless. Hexproof, so we're facing Boggles. Oh no, he punted. Yeah, you didn't attack. You shouldn't. Opponent. Opponent. So sad. So, the question is, do we play him to find the enchantment that we want to sack with this? Or do we play the Thief? Alright, let's just drop this guy. So against Boggles, what do we want? I think we want to sack. Yeah, we want Trial. Pass the turn. Those classic 80 pile Yorion piles. So great. Especially when they are consistently doing their game plan. It's the best. So the question is, next turn, do we play the Stomping Grounds untapped to play this Incarnation? Or do we play Thief of Sanity? Opponent is thinking hard. Okay. Finally does a response. Cool. So this is like Bant Hexproof? Bant Boggles. So we definitely know we're taking these Chain of Rocks out next game. Okay. How does he get out of this situation? I mean, he knows what we fetched for. Hit ya. So we could sack this, grab a Courser, so we could sack that, get a 4-drop. Probably Siege Rhino. Just because it's Siege Rhino. Alright, opponent. What do you got? And you got another Boggle. White. White. Srom. Sentinel Eyes. Sure. Draws a card. I assume he's desperately trying to find another hexproofer. Is there how many are in this format? You don't get actual Boggle. I guess I should figure that out. Opponent is thinking. Okay. I could chain the rocks and drop Thief of Sanity. That's probably the best thing I could do this turn. You got a counter. And black. Thief of Sanity. I wonder, maybe we should be playing Omnath in the deck. He probably would be pretty sweet. And he's definitely better than a Siege Rhino, but still probably run a Siege Rhino. Probably can cuss something else though. Is he better than Archon? If you want to go a little bit more expensive, he probably is fine. Probably an upgrade. Then again, we don't really have a lot of landfall triggers going on here, so he would just be a 4-drop ETB draw a card. And very rarely do you get the gain 4 life. Another Strong for the opponent. Flashes back Sentinel's Eyes, I assume. Or escapes. Seems pretty good for the opponent. You have a way to give him hexproof. Let's go ahead. Green, blue, green, any color. Okay. Hit you. So this is a very interesting situation. Does he trade with the cleric? Because if all else fails, we could always just sack this chain to the rocks. Oh. We will take... I guess that, just because... I guess. I don't know. So. But we are aware he could have a blessings in hand. So So we could eat this Chain to the Rocks. Because that would basically... He has to legend rule himself. Or we could eat this Trial. Let's get a Fibblefit. There's a blocker. He replaces himself. Can't argue with those results. We only have one more enchantment, though. That is something we should be aware of. So if we drop this other Incarnation... Okay. Your go, opponent. So we get Fires plus Enigmatic. Enigmatic. Incarnation. We could do both in a single turn. Is that better than Omen of the Sea? Because otherwise I'll be paying... Yeah, I could tap everything and play both of those two. Hits us for 4. So I have options. When did my 3-drop slot? Courser. What else? I have Thief Sanity already. Renegade Rallier. Othakaya. Othakaya is an option. Oh wait, I can't get him. I have to get... Okay, so let's go ahead and play Fires. Cast Incarnation. Go to combat. Hit ya. I doubt he trades. He trades? No way. He has to have another blessing. Sure, hit ya. So, what does my turn look like? What am I sacking? I think I start with the Fires. Get a 5-drop. Cloud Blazer. Xenagos doesn't seem that great either. I can do this. Grab. Courser Crewfix. Sack Courser Crewfix. Siege Rhino. Hit ya. Down to 1. Opponent, can you beat us this turn? Yeah, I was hoping I can get an Othakaya, but I can't. The only way I could have done that is I could have had to have sacked the 4-drop to a 5-drop, then sacked the 2-drop to a 3-drop, another cleric, and then I could have got another 2-drop. Maybe that was right. But unless he has something amazing this turn, what could he possibly have? A 6/3. I mean, that's fine. He needs lifelink, though. This Fibblefip is enough to beat you. Hits us. Sure. I mean, I don't think it matters, does it? What do you have, opponent? He skips it up. Alright. Against this deck, it's kind of weird, but we kind of want a Hostage Taker and a Massacre Girl. We could bring in Rex Sage, that is an option. And a Mass Vandal. Push seems terrible. Chain of the Rocks seems like almost a dead card. Detention Sphere could hit some of the key pieces of our opponent's deck. Is there any card in the deck that just screams out saying, hey, I'm not good in this matchup? Yeah. We can cut him on the top end, I think. Because Massacre Girl should be able to handle a lot of what he's doing. So, what's better than getting a hexproofing creature is to sweep the board. Okay, we have a Trial. That's pretty good in this matchup. We have our Thief again. So we're definitely keeping. We need a Black Source though, actually. Oh wow, this is actually much worse than I was thinking. We needed a Black Source. This hand doesn't do anything. There's the Black Source. Like it hurt us. So we can leave the Temple Garden tapped past the turn. So all of our lands should come into play untapped. That's pretty good for us. Aren't we special? Opponent, you go. So, what does our turns look like? We have Trial. Sram. Do we want to eat that? It does provide card advantage. Let's go ahead and play Trial. So we kind of want to prevent him from having the ability of drawing. You can't really replenish what he's playing. I forget, does he have, he has Lurrus. You might be putting Lurrus, no. What? What? Look, top 3 may reveal an enchantment from them? What am I facing right now? That's impressive. Staggering Insight. Yeah, that works. That definitely works, opponent. Okay. So how do I want to play this turn? I don't have a... I could play this, which means I Thief a Sanity. I could play this and Reclamation Sage. I think I just want to Thief a Sanity. Yeah, opponent. We drew it the second time. In an 80 card deck, we have one of them. We drew it in both games. It's weird. Okay. Staggering insight for the opponent. So now we could hostage taker his creature, essentially. Question is, do we let him draw? I kind of want to keep my thief. You could hit us for 3. Stomping ground. We could play Crag. Hostage taker. Hit it. Can you give it hexproof? That doesn't matter. I'm exiling. I mean, it does let you get another spell or another enchantment potentially. It still lets me eat it. What? Oh wait, he gets hexproof. Okay. Yep, seems good. So I could double spell this turn? Do I want to? That is the question. Rex Sage, Feral Armor. The opponent is making that creature humongous, like Boggle players like to do. I think we definitely block it with the hostage taker. Or wait a minute. Maybe not. Maybe not. We block with Thief. So we can get Yorion in hand. Flicker the hostage taker the turn after. So I think we... Oh no. Yeah, we were going to block with Thief of Sanity anyways. So that kind of works out. So we definitely get Yorion. And then we try to stop the bleeding by a little bit. So he clearly has more creatures that can be exiled. Okay. So, first things first. Put that here. Maybe I should have taken it last turn. Is that correct? Because if he draws any more auras, he just one-shots me. Yeah. Maybe I shouldn't have blocked last turn. I should have just taken it. Okay, so... maybe we want this over Thief. Maybe Chain of the Rocks isn't as bad as I was thinking. We can bring those back. Actually, Fatal Pushes might be better. Yeah, it might be better. Maybe go down him. Binding. Yeah, so 2 Fatal Pushes. I don't like that. So we still have a decent amount of target removal. Not really. We have some sacrifice-based removal, and then we have some target removal. This matchup is definitely going to be interesting. But yeah, that definitely, I should have taken the damage the first time, because I should have known that he was going to be able to play a lot more enchantments to boost his creature up to be lethal that turn. This hand is a no-go. This hand is fine. We're going to put Incarnation to the bottom. Now, do we have anything that taps for black? No, we don't. Keep it, ship that back. We'll just leave with a Triumph of any kind. Pass the turn. So next turn, after we have more information, we can leave up a Fatal Push, I suppose. Or if he doesn't play any creature, we might just play a tap land. Yep. Okay. He leads with the Scout. Okay. I don't really see a need to kill it, do I? Yeah, let's just do it. I kind of wanted to wait to see if he could exhaust some of his auras in hand. But most other threats, like we could drop down this Fatal Push. I wonder if he just took a hand that had 1 Scout. That would be a pretty bad hand to keep. But just since we run a decent amount of sack outlets, sack-based removal. Now we need to make sure we don't just blindly sack this thing, just because we kind of need it for when Yorion comes. I should think that's the best removal against his deck. Okay. So now we could Triumph next turn. Play. We leave up a push this turn. Next turn, play Courser Crucifix. Pass the turn. We really want to see a land with the next X2 cards we see. Because otherwise we are going to be really screwed. I mean, his deck probably doesn't want to see probably no more than 1 land. 1 more land. We want to be in around 4 or 5 mana. This is probably where we want to stick and stay, but we want 1 more land potentially because we want to get to these incarnations. So he's probably at his max desire for lands. Srom. And we will push it. Okay. Play Courser. Let me see a land on the top. Swamp. Perfect. Gain a life. Pass the turn. So, Fires of Invention inbound. That's actually not a bad top deck. So we should be able to play Fires plus Incarnation, which is actually a pretty good turn for us. Strom. That's fine. Got a boon. Sure. Give him flying. You gonna attack us? Tap land, so he has nothing else to play for one. Okay, that's pretty good. So now we don't actually ever have to pay for the mana confluence again, which is kind of nice. Play actually, do we eat the Fires of Invention? Get Xenagos? Yeah. Let's get Xenagos. Okay, pass the turn. So we have a Triumph on top. So let's see what he plays. We do not have the ability. All that glitters. We can Yorion. Ooh, that's actually not a bad top deck. So that prevents the trial from getting Strom. Hits us, sure. Down to 14. How do we want to do this turn coming up? Reflector Mage. Play the second one. Oh, no, we can't do that. At the 4-drop slot. Oh, we do have the Pirate, so we will go ahead and sack him, get the pirate. Hostage taker. We will eat this, I guess. Get the massacre girl. Eat the scout. Pass the turn. So that got rid of his entire board. We're definitely going to cast this ROM. So that way he can't kill or bounce our hostage taker and get this ROM back. Which means he has no blue mana. Another scout for the opponent. So 1, 2, 3. We could put Yorion in hand. So that's probably your best turn. And then cast this ROM. Seems fine. So, first things first, let's cast this ROM. So that way he doesn't look like he would have an answer. But place ROM. Companion. That in hand. Go to combat. Here. That is a clock. Oh no, what? Thank God that didn't do anything. Hit you for 10. Down to 4. Pass the turn. No. I think that's correct because I guess we could get Detention Sphere to get rid of the boon, but why? He finally gets the blue source. He's probably super excited about that. So Yorion gets rid of the portable hole. Portable hole. He punted with that. He should have definitely got rid of the trial because we would have blinked the trial. I mean, he had flying. We couldn't have blocked with the thing anyways. I guess maybe he's just salty that he was on our side of the board. I don't know. But he's low on time. And we got there. Alright, on to the next one. Alright, on to match 2, game 1. With Incarnation. Not a bad hand. It's castable, which is all you get asked for. We'll keep. We do have 2 green sources, so that's relevant. We have all green sources. We have no white sources. That's actually worse. So we could play this and this. Hopefully Corsair gets us to the white sources to play Otakaya and the Archon. We do want to save some stuff for the Archon, so we might not play these 2 cards for a while. We'll see if they're important. and staying alive, but we probably won't try to cast anything until Courser Crucifix comes down. And he mulliganed down to 5. Interesting. Okay, this looks like landfall. Is that another Hellhound? No. Hits us. Probably returns a pathway. Yep. Passes the turn. Overgrown Tomb. I think we just go ahead and eat that damage. We'll play Trial. It's kind of important now, just because we're falling behind. I'm assuming he's gonna let us take this guy. The Hellhound's probably better. I assume he's built around the Hellhound. Him constantly returning a land, which can be helpful, is probably not the... Wow, he gets rid of the Hellhound. Okay, so that means we're taking another 2 and 2 from our shock land. Okay. It's pretty good. Plays a land, pumps him to 4. Ooh, this is gonna be a rough. Oh, wow. Wow. This might be a very fast match. Opponent just obliterating us. Imagine if he would have kept the Hellhound. I imagine he would have done more damage. Yep. Okay. So we have a couple options here, I suppose. We could play a Tomb untapped, play a Presence on one of them, but this is technically a mountain. We could Chained Rocks this, or we could Tomb untapped, play Courser Crucifix. Actually, I think I kind of like the other plan better, because it gives me the white source for this Othakaya next turn. Okay. So that gives us the white source, so we could gain some life back. Chain the rocks. Eat your creature. Pass the turn. So yeah, next turn we get Oath, which will gain us 3 life back, get back up to a 9, which is still not a very good life total. I felt like he was all in on that creature anyways, so resetting him seems perfect. So we'll play that tapped. That was probably a punt. Ouch. Yep. Yeah, I missed out on a life. Sorcerer Crucifix. Fibblefip on top. Go. We might be coming back. Kanzandu Mammoth. Okay. No land. Okay. So white, black, whatever. Othakaya. Shoot the mammoth. Hit ya. So his best draw is probably the hasting one. I do like landfall. It's a pretty cool deck. Another card on top that's not a land. Okay. What do we do this turn? I guess we play Fibblefip. And hopefully there's a land on top. Othanissa. We're never going to get to this Archon, are we? I don't think we do anything else. Hit ya. I really want the land more for, well, for one, getting a card out of the way. Two, gaining one life. Any life that we can get back would be ideal. The opponent playing another land. Oath of Nissa. Look top three, may put a reveal creature, planeswalker, or land among them. Okay. Oath of Nissa. Why didn't it go into my hand? That's weird. Okay. So let's go ahead and just keep playing threats, I suppose. We'll play this. Sure. What card do we want on top? Maybe fires? Fires, maybe. Okay. Hit ya. What I like about the cleric is the fact that he has 3 power. So if he does manage to drop down the hasting landfall guy, he could block him. Because he has 3 power instead of it's over 2. So if we have to jump, we will. Okay. So this turn, ooh, we get a land. Ooh, another land. Okay. Ooh, we get to tap our mana correctly. Play Incarnation. Is that what basically makes you scoop? I guess not. Hit ya. Down to 7. We will sack Yeah. Sack this. Get a Siege Rhino. And we see a Plains on top. That's like perfect. Actually, did I make that? Yeah, it doesn't matter. I was like, I thought I was supposed to play the fires, but it didn't. Okay. Against landfall, you definitely want fatal pushes. That seems like that's about all we want. What are we going down? Oh, we probably want the hostage taker. Maybe we can go down that. Up that. Reflector Mage doesn't seem great. Sin Collector doesn't seem great. Thief of Sanity doesn't seem very great. And Archon actually has lifelink. Yeah, we want to keep that. We can go down the Eidolon, which mainly Eidolon's in here for that gap, so we can get the 4-drop. That's also an enchantment to get us to the 5-drop slots, but there's nothing in the 5-drop slot that's critical to the actual game plan of the deck, at least in this matchup. And we draw a 5-drop. So what's our turns look like? We get to Courser. From Courser, what are we doing? Praying, I guess. We'll do that. Seems good. This might be weird. The Xenagos is probably a dead card. But if we do manage to top deck lands X amount of times in a row, that would be ideal. So that way we can get to the Moonblessed Cleric to get our Incarnation and kind of go off. So essentially we have Incarnation in hand, which is kind of important. Yep, Hellhound for the opponent. Please let me see a light source. It is a land. That is a positive thing. We will play the Stomping Grounds tapped. Pass the turn. We really want to see a Plains of some sort, because that would mean that we get to play either one of these two spells. Up hits us down to 16, down to 14 on our turn. Probably returns a forest. Yep. What do we draw? That's not great. Stomping Ground, Overgrown Tomb, tapped, untapped. Haven, pass the turn. That means next turn we get to Courser, play a land, gain a life, hopefully block one of these two. Cinder Vines. That does kill our Courser Recruit Fix. Pretty great by the opponent. There's the white source. That was perfect. So, Let's play Oathakaya. Let's go ahead and hit that. Pass the turn. So next turn we could play Courser, play a land, gain some life. He has 2 cards in hand. Destructive Reverie hits us down to 8. Seems good. Yep. Green, green, red, Courser. Breeding Pool, tapped. Gain a life. Pass the turn. This deck is feeling pretty good so far. We won game match 1. We just took game 1. We are at 7. He hits us down to 5. He has 1 card in hand. Can we get there? I think we need to play Wandering Mind. Trade with the Leopard. Whiff. That is interesting. Pass the turn. So we trade here. Next turn we play Champion. If we draw a land, that's not bad. Evolving. Oh, okay. I guess we don't trade with the Leopard. Another Leopard. This is tricky now. So if you block the Leopard, we would force him to use his wilds this turn. So he doesn't get it next turn. Or we trade here, take 1. We die, don't we? We have to block the Leopard. So he gets to the option of cracking. He does. Whew, this is rough. Yeah, because, wait, 3, never mind, I guess we didn't have to block there. How do we get out of this situation? So it's 3 2/2s? What's our best case this turn? If we would have drawn a land, we might have been able to get out of this, but we can't. Maybe Detention Sphere is not bad. He also has lifelink, so that's also kind of relevant. Go down that. Go down Xenagos. I don't like that. So we're a little bit tighter and lighter on the curve. Interesting. So if we could pull off a win here, that would be perfect. That would push us to being 2-0. If we lose, well, opponent is trying to figure it out. We're definitely going to be better off because we'll be on the play. Which is about the best as you're going to ask for. Ooh. Yep. Reveal. All tap lands. I don't think that's going to get there. So 2/2s, 0/1s, 1/1s. This will do some wrathing. We just gotta stay alive, I guess. That's our plan. Stay alive until Massacre Girl comes down. Question is, can we do it? So we lead with a swamp or a woodland cemetery. So that way, if we turn next turn, we get a Oath and Nissa. We have a turn 1/2 play, or if we get a Fatal Push, we have an option. We can't do anything with a Chain to the Rocks because we don't have a mountain. So at least not yet. This presence is going to be a mountain at some point. He's still deciding. Okay, cemetery tap, go. Now that's a good start. A tap land, like it. By the Grove, go. This hand's looking better by the second. So if we get an untapped source, we can play Courser, which means when we play these two, they're actually pretty good. Okay, Brushfire Elemental. Finally draws the hasty one. Yep, take one. Look at that, tapped. Let's put that here. Draw. Okay, we got a land for next turn. So that's reassuring. So we can definitely play Courser Crucifix. Another Brushfire Elemental. Plays a land. Hits us for 6. Overgrown Tomb. Green, green. Courser Crucifix. Trial. That's okay. We will play the Triumph. Gain a life. Pass the turn. That gives us Massacre Girl mana next turn to clean up this board a little bit. Hopefully he plays the Tiger. Another Brushfire Elemental. Oh my gosh. That's GG's, isn't it? Wow. That's a wow. You gotta be kidding me with that. Because we can't block with them. Ouch. Yeah, that was ridiculous. Well, on to the next one. Alright, on to match 3, game 1 with Incarnation. I don't think we can keep this. This hand's like almost completely incastable. We will keep this. We have 4 lands. 2 Chain of the Rocks. I guess we ship back to Xenagos. I mean, because if we draw any of our Incarnations or the Clerics to get our Incarnations, we should be able to get the Xenagos whenever we want to, potentially. So, keeping a 5-drop doesn't seem very logical in my starting hand. If you face a creature matchup, Chain of the Rock should do enough. A Grazer for the opponent. Yes, you get to have your Sloth. What land-based deck is green-blue and Pioneer? Oh, this could be... Well, Lotus Field. Pass the turn. That would make sense because the stage to copy Lotus Field. If he has another Grazer, that would be really good. Because then he could Grazer, put in the second land. Okay. That's good. He does not have another Grazer. I wonder if this is Lotus combo. Or if it's just Lotus Field. So. We can play a tap land, prepare for next turn. Or we can... That's fine. Let's play Cleric. Let's grab our Incarnation. Pass the turn. So next turn we'll play Archon. That would mean that we start making 2/2 Pegasus. Where did that come from? Oh, I'm confused. Where did he get that? To be able to play that instant speed. Oh, that was his turn. Okay. That makes sense. I was like, what? Sure. We will play that. Untapped. White, white. Generic, generic. Archon. Hit ya. Yep. Grazer dead. Pass the turn. Six blue mana. Yep. I wish there was. I don't know why my F10 doesn't work. Or there. So we're definitely bringing Kimball and Amiria. Archon of Amiria. Both seem pretty good in this matchup. What else is there that's good against Lotus Field combo? I'm pretty sure he's drawn it at this point. Yep. Yep. What a terrible deck. Creatures and graveyards can't be. Yeah. So Kimball is coming in. Archon is coming in. I don't really see a lot outside of that. Mystical Disputes. I mean, doesn't do enough, I don't think. These Chained Rocks actually are just stone cold unplayable. So I guess Mystical Disputes is better than that. I don't like that. That's not really saying a lot. I'm saying it's better than a dead card. Completely dead. Then again, I guess this trial is also kind of dead. Oh my gosh, we have a lot of cards that are dead in this matchup, don't we? We have no black mana. So, not. Oh my gosh. Yep. I guess keep this. Ship back Reflector Mage doesn't do anything. I guess Siege Rhino. Play Steam Vents tapped. Pass the turn. I don't know what we could do in this matchup. Wonder if he's running the Blood Sun combo with it too. There's the Grazer. It's like a repeat of the last game. Okay. Goggles Shrine tapped. Pass the turn. What is our best case scenario here? So if we get to Fires of Invention plus Incarnation, sack Fires doesn't really help us. We need to sack a 2-drop into a 3-drop to prevent him from being able to combo. So we really need a 2-drop enchantment. What's the best 2-drop enchantment? But even then we need an Incarnation. So that's also a problem. So we need a 2-drop enchantment and Incarnation. What is that? What is their best line? I guess we get the 2-drop. Scry 2, draw 1. There's our 2-drop enchantment. Okay. Unless there's a 3-drop that can help us here. Binding of the Old Gods does not do it. Yep, pass the turn. So we need to cast 3 spells next turn. So we can fires and Incarnation. This was like an exact replica of last game. Except he had 2 Sanctums last time. Now he has a Coast and a Sanctum. You know what? I probably should have the Eidolon in the deck of Rhetoric. That's probably a decent sideboard card. I guess Senegos. Go. That's the missing piece. If I would have had a Eidolon of Rhetoric, it is an enchantment, which I could fetch by the Moon Blessed Cleric. That's something to be noted by. So, what is he gonna do? Can he combo this turn? So if he can combo, he wins. Otherwise, we have a shot next turn. Dig through time. It's not bad. So he has an opportunity to draw maybe a Cycler for 2, and then untap, tap, maybe. If we get another turn, I think we get it, but because this also makes him sack his Brawl, which is also pretty good. We get a turn. Oh my gosh, we get a turn. Trial. We could push this to game. Three. Question is, what do we grab here? We can get Kemble as a way to win the game. Or we can get Archon to prevent him from playing multiple spells. He has to get rid of the Archon, I think, for him to stand a chance. He's playing Granted. Okay. So he's trying to find an answer for this Archon. Blink of an eye. So he has to wait till next turn. Cloud Blazer. Blue, white. Put it here. Hit ya. This is about the best that we're gonna do. We can't do nothing else. So past the turn. If we get one more turn, we can grab Kemble as well. Bounces the Archon. Boo and hiss. Not cool. I mean, technically the cycling doesn't count as casting a spell though. So you still had some opportunity. So we will heal through this turn. So weak, we're gonna win next turn. Well, there's a good chance we're gonna go 1 and 2 in this video. I mean, I think we did about as good as we could in this matchup. I'm not sure how often you face Lotus Field in the current meta. Yep. What do you find? Peer into the abyss. I mean, we're gonna stick around until he presents that he has it. There's always a good chance that he fizzles. Weird.
I'm gonna go take a shower. Hey. Okay.
opponent is definitely taking a while. You could dig through time. Omniscience. Okay, got there. Alright, so he got there. Wow. Alright, into the wrap up. So, what did we learn this week about Incarnation? Well, it doesn't help. One matchup was against a deck that probably we would rarely face in this format, a Lotus Field. But that does raise up a good question. There's definitely Eidolon. So that's probably a card we should be running in the sideboard. That is a very, I don't want to say it's a common deck to face, but it's probably worth some slots in the actual board. So I don't want to Rhetoric should be in the list, I think. We can go down one Mystical Dispute. It makes me think about it. Is there any other enchantment creature? Is there something else that we could fetch and help us win the game? That's more of what I'm thinking. That is definitely something we should be running, I think. We could have a way to give ourselves hexproof. I don't know how relevant that is, though. We also don't have a lot of enchantments to stack on the one slot, so they're a little bit harder. A ram could be a solid option in the sideboard as well. So if you face some sort of what do you call it? Burn, we can get one of these. He's not that great in the matchup that we lost, though. The landfall, Gruul Landfall, and we ended up losing. So, what other options do we have? Like, and one of the key reasons why we stayed around in that match was because there's a very good chance that Lotus Field does whiff. In that scenario, it's always incorrect to try to scoop in that case. I think this might be enough, though, for changes to the deck. This is an interesting way of doing Graveyard Hate, though. That's interesting. We get to eat a Phoenix and give him a 1/1. That's pretty reasonable. Maybe Detention Sphere is not good enough. So that's pretty much what I would recommend. Slight adjustments, right? You don't want to do too much. Wait, he's legal in Pioneer? Thought he came out in the I'm confused. I thought he came out in the Commander decks. I'll have to look that up, because that would be a card I would be interested in playing. But I thought he was not legal in Pioneer, but for some reason it's showing him in Pioneer. I don't know. The other thing we could do is we could have a 6-drop option, if it's even worth it, because we can go Xenagos into a 6-drop if we wanted to. But the 6-drop slot really needs to be worth it, I think. Okay, so I think that's pretty much where I want to be. I don't know. Dealing damage does sound pretty nice. But that's here and there. I think this is probably a slightly better build based on how we played how the deck actually performed. We have an Eidolon for the Lotus Field matchup. We have this against the best deck in the format, which is Phoenix. And then we added the Ram against matchups where we need to gain life over like something like Fibblefip. So let me know down in the comments if I made a punt at any point in my matchups. What changes would you guys make? What cards would you love to see featured in a video in the future? Don't forget to uptick the like button, subscribing to the channel, and also hit that bell notification. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, let me know down in the comments if there's any decks you'd like to see. Get down in the description where you can find the link to this deck list, and also the link to my Discord where you could join it, communicate with me. If you're interested in Artisan, please join. That is one of my top priorities, is getting that format off of the floor. So thanks for watching. Have a great day. Thank you for watching the video. If you guys want to check out more sweet content from me, you can find it over at rumble.com/MTG KebbieG. Personal shout out to everyone that's liking, subscribing, and hitting those bell notifications, and my Patreons. You guys are a blessing. I can't say it enough. Thank you. Have a great day.